It really was. And we kind of grew together. And he did have that music right here and right here. And we just would laugh, have a good time. And it was...
In this video, we take you on a journey through the extraordinary life of Gladys Knight, a legendary figure in the world of Motown and soul music. Known as the Empress of Soul, Gladys rose to fame with her family group, Gladys Knight and the Pips, creating unforgettable hits that defined an era. But behind the spotlight, her personal life was marked by struggles, including multiple failed marriages. Join us as we explore the triumphs and challenges of Gladys Knight's remarkable career and resilience, revealing the woman behind the music who overcame adversity to become a true icon. The early life and musical beginnings of Gladys Knight. Born into a musical family. Gladys Maria Knight was born on May 28, 1944, in Atlanta, Georgia, to a family that would become instrumental in her path toward musical greatness. Her father, Merrill Woodlow Knight Sr., worked as a postal worker, while her mother, Sarah Elizabeth Woods, was a homemaker. Growing up in a household where music was appreciated and often performed, Knight's early exposure to music came naturally. She had a strong support system from her parents, especially her mother, who recognized Gladys's incredible musical talent at an early age. As the youngest of 8 children, Knight spent much of her youth in a bustling home where family life was an important foundation. Alongside her siblings, most notably her brother, Merrill Bubba Knight Jr., Gladys developed a close-knit relationship that would later influence the formation of one of the most iconic musical acts in history. Despite the challenges of growing up in a segregated South, Gladys's family instilled in her a sense of pride, resilience, and the importance of perseverance. Discovering her passion for singing. The seed for Gladys Knight's musical journey was planted early on. Her love for singing began in the church, where she participated in her local Baptist congregation's choir. Her extraordinary voice quickly caught the attention of others, and she became known for her powerful and soulful delivery, even as a young girl. Knight's early experiences in the church choir were crucial in shaping her vocal style, which would later become a hallmark of her career. Knight's breakthrough moment came when she was just 8 years old. In 1952, she triumphed in a major competition on Ted Mack's Original Amateur Hour, a popular television show where aspiring talent had the chance to showcase their skills. This victory catapulted Knight into the public eye, giving her the confidence to pursue music as a career. Though still a child, her performance on national television solidified her standing as a talented and charismatic vocalist. From this moment on, Gladys was determined to make her mark on the world of music. The birth of the Pips. In the late 1950s, after Knight had established herself as a promising talent, a pivotal event occurred that would set the course for her future. It all began at Bubba Knight's 10th birthday party, where a seemingly minor incident sparked the formation of Gladys Knight and the Pips. The story goes that during the celebration, a malfunction with the record player led to an impromptu performance by Gladys, Bubba, their sister Brenda, and cousins William and Eleanor Guest. They began harmonizing to the music, creating a sound that was distinct and captivating. This spontaneous performance caught the attention of those present, and soon after, the family members made a decision that would alter their lives forever. Encouraged by Gladys's mother, they formed a musical group. The group would go on to be known as the Pips, inspired by their cousin James Pip Woods. As they began to rehearse and perform together, it became clear that they were more than just a family ensemble. They were on their way to becoming a serious act in the music world. The formation of Gladys Knight and the Pips was not just about creating music. It was about creating a legacy. The group's members were united by family ties and a shared passion for music, and it was this unity that would drive their success. Although the group initially struggled to find commercial success, their sound began to evolve and captivate audiences, eventually laying the groundwork for their breakthrough into the mainstream music scene. Early struggles and breakthrough. Their early journey was not without its struggles. The Pips, despite their raw talent, faced a series of challenges that nearly derailed their careers. After forming the group, they signed a contract with Brunswick Records in 1957, but the label was not able to provide them with the platform they needed to succeed. the group's first few releases did not make an impact on the charts, and their dreams of stardom seemed to be slipping away. However, this early period in the group's career served as a crucial learning experience. As they continued to perform and hone their craft, the Pips began to garner attention through their live performances, especially opening for famous R&B acts such as Jackie Wilson and Sam Cooke. The energy and passion they brought to the stage were undeniable, and soon their performances became a hot ticket in the southern U.S. In 1959, Brunswick Records chose not to renew the group's contract, and this marked a critical moment in their journey. At this point, the Pips were facing an uncertain future. Despite these setbacks, the group refused to give up on their dreams. They made the bold decision to regroup and continue pursuing their passion for music. Their perseverance was rewarded when, in 1961, they recorded the song "Every Beat of My Heart." This track would prove to be a turning point in their career. Although they had no major label behind them at this time, the group's drive and determination paid off. They found support through Huntum Records, a local label in Atlanta, which gave them the opportunity to distribute the song via VJ Records. The song received enough attention to land them a spot on the music map, marking the beginning of their rise to fame. Signing with Motown. By the early 1960s, the Pips had refined their sound, and their style began to take shape. Their blend of R&B, gospel, and soul resonated with a growing audience, and they began to see their fortunes change. The group caught the attention of music mogul Berry Gordy and eventually signed with the legendary Motown Records in 1966. This was a pivotal moment for Gladys Knight and the Pips, as Motown was the epicenter of soul music during the 1960s. Motown provided the group with the resources, connections, and exposure they needed to reach a broader audience. Their partnership with Motown led to the release of iconic songs that would become staples in the R&B and soul music catalogs. Tracks like "I Heard It Through the Grapevine" and "Midnight Train to Georgia" became anthems of the era, and the Pips quickly became one of the most beloved groups in the country. "Midnight Train to Georgia" not only became their biggest hit, but it also won them a Grammy Award and remains one of the most enduring songs of the 20th century. The success of Gladys Knight and the Pips. Throughout the 1960s and 1970s, Gladys Knight and the Pips dominated the music charts, earning a string of hit singles and albums. Their unique sound, characterized by powerful vocals, lush arrangements, and emotionally charged performances, set them apart from other artists of the time. Their songs were filled with heartache, longing, joy, and the complexity of the human experience, making them relatable to listeners from all walks of life. The group's success extended beyond the music charts. They became a cultural phenomenon, performing on television shows like The Ed Sullivan Show, and their influence reached well beyond the borders of the United States. As their popularity soared, so did the recognition of Gladys Knight's unparalleled vocal talent. Known for her commanding stage presence and her soulful delivery, Gladys Knight's voice was often compared to that of other legendary vocalists such as Aretha Franklin and Etta James. By the mid-1970s, the group's legacy was solidified. They had released numerous hit albums and singles, including "That's What Friends Are For," a collaboration with Dionne Warwick, Elton John, and Stevie Wonder. The song became an anthem for friendship and earned them yet another Grammy Award, showcasing the group's ability to continue to evolve and captivate audiences in new and exciting ways. The challenges of personal life. Despite the success she enjoyed professionally, Gladys Knight's personal life was far from easy. Her journey through marriage was marked by a series of challenges and setbacks that tested her emotional resilience. Knight had entered into 4 marriages, the first being with her high school classmate, James "Jimmy" Newman, when she was just 16 years old. Their relationship faced numerous difficulties, including Newman's struggle with drug addiction, which ultimately led to their separation after 12 years of marriage. Knight was left to navigate the difficulties of single motherhood while continuing to pursue her career. Her subsequent marriages also faced challenges. In 1974, she married Barry Hankerson, a music industry executive. Their union brought forth a son, Shang Ali Hankerson, but the marriage faced its own set of difficulties, culminating in a difficult divorce in 1979. The following years saw further emotional turmoil, including a tragic period in 1979 when her son, Shang, was kidnapped. Gladys poured her resources into his safe return, spending an immense amount of time and money in an effort to locate him. Despite the ups and downs in her personal life, Gladys Knight remained a strong and unwavering figure. She was determined to continue her work as a mother, a singer, and a philanthropist. Her ability to navigate personal pain with grace and strength became a defining feature of her character, legacy, and enduring influence. Gladys Knight's life is a testament to resilience and the power of music to heal and inspire. Her deep connection to her roots, her commitment to family, and her determination to push forward in the face of adversity have made her a true American icon. As she continues to perform, Gladys Knight remains an influential figure in the music industry, revered by fans and respected by her peers. Her story is not just one of professional triumph, but also of personal perseverance. Through the trials and tribulations of her personal and professional life, Knight has emerged as one of the most enduring voices in American music, earning her rightful place among the all-time greats. Her legacy will continue to inspire generations of artists and fans alike for years to come. The early beginnings and breakthrough with Every Beat of My Heart. In the late 1950s, as a young girl with a profound love for singing, Gladys Knight's talent quickly attracted attention. Her big break came at just 7 years old when she won a local talent contest in Atlanta, setting the stage for her lifelong passion. However, it was the formation of the Pips in the early 1960s that would provide Knight with the platform to launch her career in the music industry. While the group initially struggled to find a niche, they soon caught the attention of Bobby Robinson, the owner of Fury Records in New York City. The pivotal moment in their early career occurred when Knight and the Pips recorded their breakout single, Every Beat of My Heart. While the song quickly began to gain popularity, they faced an unexpected challenge. They realized that despite the song's success, they were not financially benefiting as they should have been. Seeing the potential, Robinson decided to have the Pips re-record the track, releasing it under Fury Records label, which ultimately led to both versions making an impact on the charts. The re-recorded version of Every Beat of My Heart climbed to number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart, marking the group's first major hit and a glimpse into the success they would later achieve. Career growth and early struggles, the transition to Motown and Letter Full of Tears. The success of Every Beat of My Heart marked the beginning of a new chapter for Gladys Knight and the Pips. But the road to stardom was far from smooth. The group, though on the rise, still struggled with finding consistency in the highly competitive music industry. In 1961, they released another significant track, Letter Full of Tears, which further solidified their place in the top 40, climbing up the charts in 1962. The success of these early singles set the stage for greater achievements, but also highlighted the challenges faced by African-American artists in the industry at the time. While their early songs had brought some commercial success, it was the year 1962 that brought about a change in the group's dynamic. Langston George, one of the original members, departed the group, and Gladys Knight decided to take a step back to start a family with her husband, Jimmy Newman, a fellow musician. Her decision to take a brief hiatus from the music world was rooted in her desire to balance her growing career with her personal life. It was a bold move at the time, given the fast-paced nature of the music industry, but it would prove to be a temporary departure as she returned to the Pips in 1964, more determined than ever to pursue her musical goals. Upon her return, the group signed with Larry Maxwell's Max Records, a pivotal move that propelled their career forward. It was during this era that the group began to evolve musically, working with talented producers like Van McCoy. Their music started to showcase a more sophisticated sound, blending soul with pop and other genres. The hits kept coming as the group continued to develop, but their most notable transformation occurred in 1966, when they made a game-changing move by joining Motown Records. The Motown years, success and tension with Diana Ross. At the time of their signing with Motown, the group did not have the immediate commercial clout of some of the label's other artists, such as the Supremes or the Temptations. Gladys Knight and the Pips, despite their exceptional talent, were initially regarded as a secondary act, often overshadowed by the label's more established stars. However, their remarkable vocal abilities and stage presence began to break through the surface, earning them a spot as one of Motown's most unique and talented acts. In 1966, their fortunes began to change when they were selected to tour as the opening act for the Supremes, a prestigious opportunity that was both a challenge and a launching pad for their future success. During the tour, Gladys Knight's powerful and soulful voice quickly garnered attention, often outshining the main act, Diana Ross and the Supremes. According to Knight's memoirs, Diana Ross noticed the growing fanfare for Knight's performances and felt that Knight's act was stealing the spotlight. As a result, she was removed from the tour, a move that would create tension between the two singers. Berry Gordy, Motown's legendary founder, informed Knight that her act was making life difficult for his star act, Diana Ross. This moment, though challenging, marked the beginning of Knight's rise within Motown and beyond. Despite the setbacks at Motown, the group's big break came in 1973 when they left the label for Buddha Records, a move that allowed them to refine their sound and expand their reach. It was under Buddha Records that they achieved some of their most iconic successes. A New Chapter, Midnight Train to Georgia, and mainstream success. The year 1973 marked a critical turning point in the career of Gladys Knight and the Pips. After leaving Motown, they signed with Buddha Records and released Midnight Train to Georgia in 1973, a soulful anthem that became one of the group's most beloved songs. Written by Jim Weatherly, the song reached #1 on the pop and R&B charts, earning them a Grammy Award and cementing their place in music history. The hauntingly beautiful ballad told the story of a man returning to Georgia to find solace, and Knight's emotional vocal delivery captured the song's deep sense of yearning and resolve. The track became not only a hit in the US, but also received considerable attention overseas, especially in the UK, where it reached the top 5 of the UK singles chart in 1976, 3 years after its American success. Following the success of Midnight Train to Georgia, the group's momentum continued to grow with tracks like I've Got to Use My Imagination, The Way We Were, and Best Thing That Ever Happened to Me. These songs captured the hearts of fans worldwide, and the group's sound matured, blending elements of R&B, soul, and pop. In addition to their chart-topping singles, Gladys Knight and the Pips found success in Europe, where their tracks continued to resonate with audiences long after their initial release. During the summer of 1974, the group recorded the soundtrack for the film Claudine with producer Curtis Mayfield, which became another important chapter in their career. The album produced several notable tracks, including On and On, which showcased their vocal harmonies and growing mastery of the soul genre. Solo careers and personal changes. As the 1970s drew to a close, the group faced a series of personal and professional challenges. Legal and personal matters led to a period of separate recordings, and in 1978, Gladys Knight released her first solo album, Miss Gladys Knight, under Buddha Records. The album marked the beginning of her transition into solo stardom, and she continued to build her reputation as a powerful solo artist in the years that followed. During this period, Knight's personal life also experienced significant changes. After her divorce from James Newman II in 1973, she remarried to Barry Hankerson, a businessman and the uncle of future R&B sensation Aaliyah. Their union led to the birth of their son, Shang Ali, in 1976. However, their marriage faced significant challenges, and the couple became embroiled in a bitter custody battle over their son, which added stress to both their personal and professional lives. Despite these struggles, Knight's career remained a beacon of success and resilience. Return to group roots and later success. In 1980, Gladys Knight and the Pips reunited with Columbia Records, bringing the group back to its familiar 4-member configuration. The group's first release under the label was About Love, 1980, which featured the hit single Landlord, and their 1981 follow-up album, Touch, showcased their continued ability to craft soul-stirring hits. The 1980s saw Knight and the Pips continue to evolve. Their 1983 hit, Save the Overtime for Me, became a major success on the R&B charts, securing their place in the ever-changing music scene. The accompanying music video was notable for being one of the earliest to incorporate elements of hip-hop culture, which further solidified their relevance in a rapidly changing musical landscape. However, in 1987, after years of incredible success, Knight made the bold decision to step out on her own as a solo artist. With the release of her solo album, All Our Love, 1987, the group parted ways, marking the end of an era. Yet, Gladys Knight's legacy, both as a solo artist and as a member of the Pips, remained firmly intact. The legacy of Gladys Knight, a trailblazer for generations. Throughout her career, Knight has amassed a remarkable catalog of hits, earned several Grammy Awards, and established herself as a trailblazer for African American women in music. Her influence on R&B, soul, and gospel music continues to reverberate through today's music scene. Her journey as a soul singer, actress, businesswoman, and humanitarian has set a standard for those who follow in her footsteps. Gladys Knight's timeless voice, impeccable artistry, and profound resilience make her a true icon in the world of music and beyond.